Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Elsa Berliana Indraswari. I am from Tourism, Faculty of Social and Politics, University of Jember. And this video, I make it for one of my subjects. There is English Tourism 1. So without any further ado, let's get started. First, the academic paper that I analytic is Sustainable Tourism, a critique, an academic paper based journal value from the Scottish Hotel School, University of Strathclyde. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. Current building, 94 Cathedral Street, Glasgow, G40LG, United Kingdom. There are a few parts in this academic paper. For the first part, introduction. In introduction, the writers talk about the reason why she writes about this paper, to make a brief critique of the research of sustainable tourism. A little later review led the author of this paper to believe that the multiple Horizon 1999 of debate on sustainable tourism is patchy, disjointed, and at times flawed. The second part, the concept of sustainable development. In this part, the writers wrote some definition and some origin of the concept of sustainability. The concept of sustainability has its origin in the environmentalism that grew to prominence in the 1970s. The explicit idea of sustainable development was first highlighted by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, or we can say IUCN 1980, in its World Conservation Strategy. In tourism, there are a multitude of definitions for sustainability and sustainable development. The World Tourism Organization, or WTO 2001, prefers the following definition of sustainable development. Sustainable tourism development meets the needs of present tourists and host regions while protecting and enhancing sorry for my pronunciation again, enhancing opportunities for the future. It is envisaged as leading to management of all resources in such a way that economic, social, and aesthetic needs can be fulfilled while maintaining cultural integrity, essential ecological process, biological diversity, and life support system. Third part, key issue to be addressed. In this part, the writer wrote some main weakness of the sustainable literature which must be addressed if we are to advance further in this field of research. There are 6 K that are rated by the writers. First, while emphasizing the sustainability of tourism resource, no due attention has yet been paid to that of tourist demand, especially at the destination level, where a sustained flow of tourists cannot be taken for granted, though this might be the case of the global level. The second is, when discussing resource sustainability, it is often limited to the preservation and conservation of resource and fails to appreciate that resource are a complex and dynamic concept, evolving with change in the needs, preferences, and technological capabilities of society. Third, while emphasizing intergenerational equality, no due attention has yet been paid to intergenerational equity, that is, the fairness of benefits and cost distribution among the stakeholder groups of tourism development. This is the point 4, and this is point 5. You can read it yourself. And this is the point 6 and the last point. The fourth part is sustainable tourism solely a supply issue. The writer wrote in this part, sustainable resource management requires a broader and better understanding of the characteristic of tourism resource. From a broader perspective, tourism resource encompass more than a nature's endowment. As a place product, tourism requires three levels of resource: the attraction for tourists, including natural, cultural, and purpose-built, the infrastructure and superstructure to support tourist activities, and the physical and social setting, including the hospitality of the community. Fifth is intragenerational equity-less imperative. A meaningful way to evaluate sustainable tourism is to examine how it how it can meet the needs of the most population in terms of improved living standards both in the short and long term. Tourism is said to have a unique quality in income generation and distribution compared to many other industries, in that it promotes regional development, has a high multiplier effect, and consumes a wide variety of local goods and services. However, a global experience shows that this potential of tourism has rarely been fully realized. In less developed countries in particular, poverty and social desperation necessitate a great need for local community to benefit from tourism development. But the inability of the host population to fully participate in the development process results in the lion's share of tourism income being sustainable tourism development, a critic for the 465 taken away from leak out from this destination. Oh, sorry. Uh, 465 taken away or leaked out from the destination. It is thus argued that a greater level of local involvement in the planning of development of tourism is essential prerequisite of sustainable tourism. The sixth, does cultural integrity rejects change in destination societies? A writer said in this part that while recognizing the economic benefits of tourism, many writers appear to have a view that its social and cultural impacts are primarily harmful. Kroll, 1995, for example, claims that tourism has trivialized cultures, brought about uniformity, and had adverse effects on traditional ways of life and on the distinctiveness of local culture. Preserving cultural heritage, maintaining traditional values, and providing authentic experience for tourists have often been highlighted as important elements of sustainable tourism. However, again, the author believes that most socio-cultural changes brought about by tourism development are beneficial, and the unique role of tourism in promoting modern values, social progress, and cultural evolution should be greatly appreciated. The seventh, has sustainability been useful measured? It is said the greatest criticism of the tourism relates to the problem of exceeding desirable limits. It is often too much of a good thing. Personnel and Polishper, 1970 to page 213 until 215. But how much is too much? What is exactly the sustainable level of tourism development? How can this level be measured? Well, it is relatively easy to conceptualize and proselytize about the needs for sustainable tourism development. It is far more challenging to develop an effective yet practical measurement process. After more than a decade's debate on sustainable tourism, there is still disagreement on what should be sustained and on the appropriate indicator for measuring sustainability. In this part, still in the seventh part, in this part, writers brought her opinion to that primary question underlying carrying capacity should not be how many is too many, but rather to determining how many change the environmental conditions are acceptable given the development objectives of the of a destination. McCall and Lime 2001 argue that ultimately impacts cannot be avoided but they can be managed based on established objective or an understanding of the biophysical or social condition desired. In order to define important values, particular issue indicator variables, mm, sorry, particular issues, indicator variables, and desired or acceptable condition, they further advocate the adoption of several established decision-making frameworks, such as the limits of acceptable change or LAC, visitor uh, visitor impact management or VIM, visitor experience and resource protection, and the tourism optimization management model or VAMP. The eighth part is ecotourism the path to sustainability. Due to, due to the problems associated with and sometimes unfairly attributed to conventional mass tourism, many academics and practitioners enthusiastically promote some ideal forms of tourism: alternative tourism, appropriate tourism, soft tourism, responsible tourism, low impact tourism, and ecotourism as the means of achieving sustainability in tourism development. However, close examination shows that the sustainability forms of, of tourism are far from fulfilling their promise to transform the way in which modern conventional tourism is conducted. With few exceptions, they have not succeed in moving beyond a narrow niche, marking to a set of principles and practice that diffuse the entire tourism industry. In particular, it is a fallacy to suppose that ecotourism, which is generally defined as environmentally responsibility travel to relatively undisturbed or protected natural areas, though its exact definition varies widely in the creator, can be the path to sustainable development. And the last part is conclusion. This paper has briefly analyzed the main weakness of the sustainable tourism literature. It appears that the sustainable debate is flawed with some misconception, faulty measures, and inadequate means. In addition, these issues cannot be easily addressed even if every researcher in the field shares the same view. However, at this point, the author does not wish to paint a gloomy picture of sustainable tourism research. We must acknowledge the substantial progress made in research so far and try to find the ways forward. We have now understood the interrelationship. Sorry, sorry again. The interrelationship between tourism, the environment, and the local community. The need for a long-term perspective in both development, sustainable tourism development, a critic 470 planning and resource conservation, and a broader view in managing tourism to include the needs of all stakeholder groups. The following four issues seem to be of critical importance if we are to carry out further research on sustainable tourism development. That's all from me. Sorry if there is a mistake in my pronunciation or if there is something missing from my PowerPoint. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.